What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. So in the last video I showed you the Pleco. Well, I didn't show you the Pleco because I couldn't see the Pleco, but we have got a Pleco in an Amazon tank. It's absolutely destroying the plants and I need to get it out, but I don't want to take it back to the shop or anything because it's a really cool fish. I want to keep it. So he is in here somewhere, and in fact I'm not going to be able to pick him up on camera, but I have just seen him behind this, you know, this big piece of wood in the middle of the screen. Now he always goes on the underside of this, and I can't pick him up, but I know he's there. I've seen him, which is great. So I've got a plan of what I want to do. I want to keep him. He's so cool, but I want to make something like just for him or her. I don't even know that. How do you even sex them? I'm going to look that up as well. So the whole reason I want to take the Pleco out is because it's destroying my Amazon swords. It's an Amazon tank. I don't want to take the Amazon swords out, so I'm sorry, the fish has got to come out. And I'm pretty certain it's the Pleco because, you know, these plants are absolutely thriving for a good couple of months before I put the Pleco in, or about a month and a half, and then I put the Pleco in and all of a sudden they all start getting eaten all the way down the sort of middle sections of them. That leaf there actually sort of shows it really well, yeah. And then also the limnophilia as well. This plant you can see here, no, here, there we go. It's looking really good on the top where it's away from the wood, but anything that went near the wood got chewed off, so I'm pretty sure it's the Pleco. So yeah, I tried feeding foods like courgettes and cucumber, algae wafers, all that sort of thing, but it didn't really make a dent in it. It just all carried on anyway. Not to worry, we can fix it. So opposite the whole tank, on this side, look, we've got 3 aquariums set up and my plant storage one underneath. This tank is massively overgrown. It needs a trim back, but it's kind of representing the Brazilian rivers in the Amazon as well, to be fair. And it's home to about 10 or so ember tetras. There's more than those. Some of them are in amongst it. It's quite early in the morning. So when I first come in, they're actually all in amongst all of this plant life. But they sort of come out and they're pretty good. These guys know feeding time as well, like all my fish. Whenever I tap and do this, look, they all know it's time for feeding. But it isn't time for feeding. I will do that in a minute now, though, because I have done that. But yeah, this is where I was keeping my white cloud mountain minnow. So it was a white cloud sort of, I don't know, biotope or naturalistic sort of feel to it, like a shallow stream. But there's no fish in there now. Oh yeah, look at that at the back there. That pearlweed is all just sort of grown out of the water completely. How cool is that? That's its immersed version. And then on the top, we've got some sort of duckweed that is dying out, probably because there's nothing in the water to keep it going. A little bit of algae, looks quite cool. But yeah, so I'm going to take this one apart basically, and I've got a nice tank here for the Pleco. I think the Pleco now is going to be somewhere like that big, so it's plenty big enough at the moment. Obviously not when it's fully grown, not at all, because they get quite big, the golden nugget Pleco. I've got no idea what I want to create yet, but to be honest, if I just fill this up with water and take the plant out, the Pleco will really love that rock formation. The only thing is I probably won't see it again, so I might go for something completely simple with like a nice cave built out of the rocks in the middle, something like that. I don't know, it's not going to look fantastic, is it? But it's going to be interesting and it'll allow me to see the Pleco. That's the idea behind it. Okay, right, the rocks are out, the water's out, the plants are out. There you go, look, there's all the rocks. Plants taken out. I've kept all the sand that was in there still in there. It's only a thin layer, but I'm going to keep that in there, and I'm going to keep that grubby water as well because it's all going to help with the new sort of setup. The sponge from the sponge filter, cleaned out in the water, but still the same sponge. We'll get water in here soon, dechlorinated water, so that can all keep going as well. I'm going to hide that cable, of course. And then I actually found 3 Amano shrimp in here as well, so I'm going to put them in another setup. But this one's not going to be an Aquascape. This is a tank. Just if I fully Aquascape it, I'm going to be in the same position again where I can't even see the Pleco. So what I want to do is one nice big piece of wood, because he obviously likes the wood. That's where he lives all the time, and you can go underneath it. I don't know. I'm going to support it with rocks, do something similar to the Amazon aquarium, but on a smaller scale, and then just sort of be able to watch it and see what happens. I'm going to put some plants in as well because it's going to be interesting to sort of see if he does eat them or not. I keep saying he, I don't really know. Maybe you guys can help me with that later when we see a bit more of he, she. Right, first thing though, I want to sort out that cable at the back, get that looking tidy, and then we can get some rocks in that we can support some wood on. Again, I've got this wood over here, got quite a bit here. I'm not sure what I'm going to use. There's a big chunky piece there, that maybe that'll be good. I don't know, we'll just get it in there and see after I've fiddled around with a few pieces. Like I say, I never really sort of plan this kind of thing, just get it in and see how it looks. I think what might look nice is just to stick some val in at the background, just have it coming up. I've got some in the goldfish tank, it's probably too much in there, so if I just put that in, if the Pleco eats them, it eats them. If not, then good. But it'd be quite interesting to see if we can put some plants in and also feed it as well, like I have been, but on its own in the tank. and we can see what we can do there. Maybe I can put some swords in with it and see if it touches them. It'd be a good little experiment, really, to see what we can do. Because some people say if you feed the pleco, it won't eat your plants. Others are saying, doesn't matter what you do, it will eat certain plants like Amazon swords and broadleaf stuff. So let's just put stuff in and just see how it behaves. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Good little experiment, actually. So there's a plain and simple little quartz sand based space. Basically that's just going to give us something to set our stones on and also our wood. If you look to the side there, look, I've put a little bit of a level in there that we can plant into as well. So that's the nutrient part of the scape. Is this a scape? Yeah, we'll call it a scape. Why not? You know, I'm going to make it look as pretty as I can in a short period of time. I've only got today really because I want to try and get the pleco out as soon as possible. So next up, I'm going to put in some rocks and they'll act as like a base to put the wood on. I'll just put them all in together, I just mess around with it. Okay, that looks quite cool. I really like that. It's got some cool shapes to it, that wood, especially the circle holes there, you know, the archway. And it really is, whoa, I'm falling over. And it really is going to replicate sort of similar to the area that the pleco's staying in now. So I'm going to find it hard to show you because I haven't put the curtain up and look at all those reflections behind us. But this piece of wood, not you guys, this piece of wood here is where he constantly stays. I say constantly and he's not there, but you know, every time I do see him, he's behind that piece of wood. So yeah, it's gonna replicate that in a certain way. So yeah, now I'm gonna stick all this wood down as usual with the old cyanoacrylate super glue gorilla gel. Works a treat, dries inert, and it very quickly just locks everything into place. Right, that's all sort of semi-stuck down. It's stuck down enough that it's going to hold its sort of shape. You know the tap test, little tap, 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 tap. Didn't fall over, we're good to go. But I started to trim up this tank here whilst I was waiting for it to dry. And then I remembered why I've let it grow like this. I didn't trim it back because I need those plants to be quite long. I've got a big project coming up, a 4-foot tank. Something really fun that I love to do. So that's coming up. So I need most of those plants and then it's all going to sort of change. I mean, the fish are tiny and they don't care. They swim in and amongst it and they come in and out anyway. So it's like a great environment for them. So we're all good. Anyway, back to this one. So we can now put in some details, I think. There's no reason why we can't, you know, make it look half decent. So a few smaller pieces of the Sirius stone. And then also I've got some detail, sort of pebbly style river stones to sprinkle all around it and just make it look awesome. Whoa, looking really cool. Right, I just need to stick some mosses onto the sections where the glue was. You see that right there in the center? There's like all the white crustiness from the glue. So it's got the same situation up the top here. So I just need to stick some mosses onto that. I've luckily got loads of moss in this tank going crazy, so we could use some of that. Right, there we go, looking sweet. I want to put a little bit of details around the bottom of the rocks as well, but I don't really want to use moss for that. I'm going to use this plant, lilaeopsis brasiliensis. It goes really grassy, it doesn't grow crazily fast or anything, but it looks really good for some detail, so I'm going to get that right in. Right, it's just starting to look good in my opinion now. I want to fill it up eventually and just put the background plants in. I'm just going to go for a massive variety so we can see which ones the Pleco does or doesn't eat. I think it'd be quite useful for us moving forward. I'm not liking this light, it's really annoying me. So I've got like a shop light that I bought, which is 60 centimeters or 2 foot, the same size as this aquarium. I just want to hang it from the ceiling. And I probably won't have to have it so close as well, and it'll illuminate a lot better. I don't know, let's just get it on there and have a look. It might not even work. Okay, here is the light. It's just like a cheap thing. It's like £12, which is $15. I've attached some pond cable to it and a plug at the end. It's 20 watts, by the way, 6,000 Kelvin. But obviously I can't just have it hanging from the... Well, I could hang it from the ceiling like I've done with these lights, but I don't think it's going to be as bright as those, so I'm going to have to attach something to clip to the edge of the aquarium, and for that I've got these. Now these are the same as what I've got on Timmy's. Look, Timmy's tank. Sorry guys, for those of you who don't know, this is Timmy, my turtle's tank. Here is Timmy. Yeah, so I've got those on here for this light. Well, I've got some spare ones because obviously some of them are just hung up, so there's loads of them about. So I'm just going to drill some holes in the edges and we can slot these in. There we go, looking pretty good, right? That's so much better, less like sort of glare and everything, brighter overall. It said on the packet for this that it was like 6,000 Kelvin. Nah, I don't think so. I think that's more like 7.5. It's more white than a 6,000 Kelvin in my opinion, but only a little bit, and it should be absolutely fine. Looks pretty good, works pretty well, and I'll leave a link to the light in the description for you guys if you're interested. But I think now a really good thing to do would be to fill this up with water before the plants die. Right, we're full of bubbles, but that is looking sweet. I tell you what, if I didn't want to try out the different plants and that, I think I could just stop there and do like a really cool contemporary piece. Obviously the bubbles are destroying everything at the moment, but yeah, it looks really cool just like that. But we're not going to stop there because that's boring. I'm going to flood it full of Amazon swords and jungle val and all the different plants. Why not? Let's just pack out that back area and just fill it up. So next to this, over in all my shrimp tanks, I've got an absolute ton of different plants dotted about. And obviously I've got my tanks over here as well, but these are all sort of done, apart from that one's got a load of plants in there for storage. So again, yeah, Anubias might be a good shout. This plant we can see here, it's got some broad leaves. Maybe it'll chew on that, maybe it won't. Moving around to here though, in this tank I've got like 4 different types of Amazon sword, or 3 or 4 anyway, so they might be really good. Look at those, that's a big broad-leafed one there. I think that's the Ocelot or Ruby, I'm not entirely sure. It looks really nice though, doesn't it? So I'm going to use that one in the background. I'm going to use that one there as well. We've got a few more on the bottom here and not looking in the greatest of condition, so I'll probably just leave those. But yeah, definitely some of those that are in that tank. And then moving out here where I've got, you know, plants on storage as well. In this tank I've got some Java fern, that's quite wide leaf, so we'll give that a go and see how that fares. And then also up here Anubias as well. Right, it's the next day guys, the tank has cleared up perfectly, but I've just seen the Pleco. Right, can I get him on camera? I need to try and it's going to be so hard. There, you can see the spots just in the middle there. Oh, sorry, I just banged the glass, I got too close. I'm going to try and net him. I'm really going to try. I think it's going to be impossible, I'm going to give it a go. Right, so he's on that piece of wood in the middle there. I can probably just pick that up out and hopefully stays on it as I remove it from the water. I'll give that a go. And then I've got a bucket over here that you can sit in. It's all the right temperature as well because the room's heated. So I've removed the big piece of wood that was there. That's going to enable me to sort of try and catch it a little bit better. I might be able to put like a baited trap or something, some zucchini in a pipe or something in that area, and hopefully that'll work. I had to look up what zucchini meant because in UK we call it courgette. But anyway, I'm going to need to move on from now and get planting the Pleco's tank. It's looking pretty nice, isn't it? It just needs more in the background so you can see where I've left the space for it, and I've got just the plants for it. So this is my other studio for those of you that didn't know or haven't seen the channel before. Asian Fish Aquarium needs another trim up. We've got the Hillstream Aquarium down here. It's just sort of spinning around really fast. We've got rotational flow on this one, so you can see by the way the val is looping around. And we've got fast flow fish. Well, the fish aren't fast flow, but they like fast flow. That's Pandagara. And the Hillstreams, there's one of them, or Borneo suckers, Hillstreams. Yeah, so that is looking great. We've got Timmy's tank over here, which I've already shown once, but here it is again. There's Timmy waiting for me to feed him. We've got my pirate ship aquarium, which is just growing and crazy. Again, that needs another trim up. Super healthy though. And the discus aquarium. They're all really patiently just chilling out, looking at me, wondering what my next move is going to be. But guys, recently in other videos I've said that there was a lot of cyanobacteria on all of the plants. Look at that, none anywhere, all gone. Oh dear, I've just noticed this. Need to sort that out. Yeah, all clean though, looking really good. The plants are growing in really nice, so we should have some really nice baby Java ferns from there soon as well. Next to that, we've got the Blackwater Neon Tetra tank. Need to wipe down the sides, but other than that, it looks really natural and really nice. Then I just got a load of nano tanks here, not really doing anything, but it's nice to have stuff to look at, isn't it? But these are the plants I'm talking about. I've got a load of Anubias nana, we've got Vallisneria, we've got some swords. I need to take these out and put them in that new tank. Oh yes, stop planting guys. Guess what? I have caught the Pleco. I mean, we've got nets in the tanks. Basically, I set up 3 nets. I set them up in different places along the back because the fish just kept going everywhere. Oh, it's so dusty. The reflection, sorry, this has all been very quick, but eventually, look at that, there we go. He swam into the net, so I set a trap. I just watched his patterns of where he was going. He swam into it. A little bit of water in there. I'm just going to move him into a temporary bucket, which I've got over here, which has got dechlorinated water in, so we can stay in there just whilst we finish planting. Once we finish planting, you can go straight in, because remember, this tank's been running for a long time. It's all cycled. It's all ready to go. Oh, yes, this is great. I was going to be setting up a sort of trap for him. So Matt at Maidenhead Aquatics gave me some pipes so I could do a trap, and I thought, you know what, I'll just try it with the nets one more time. And the perseverance paid off. Oh, it was hard and it's kind of destroyed everything, but it's worth it because I can reset it all anyway. Oh, this is brilliant. Right, there we go. I've transported him across. You can see him there. Can you see him? Reflections are pretty bad. There he is, look. Okay, so he's going to be in this bucket just for a little while whilst we finish the build. And then I'm going to move him across. It will be no time at all. And I've got a nice little bit of wood in there for him as well to chew on. So it'll be fine for a couple of hours and then we can put him in. But in the meantime, let's get finished planting this tank. Double time now. I want to get him in. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So I've moved a few of the plants around a little bit more. I actually pushed all of the veil to that corner and then that spot. So we've got 2 sort of zones, if you like. I think it just looks a lot better. I've clouded the water up, so I'm just going to do a nice big water change now. And then after that, we can add the fish. Right, the tank is set and ready. It's time to put the Pleco in. It's probably going to be easy just to pick it up with my hands because it's a round bucket and like trying to scoop with the net, this doesn't work very well, does it? And there is the Pleco, look, doing well, just on the side there. So I'll just scoop him up now and put him in. Oh wow guys, look at that. Right, I really had to resist the temptation for packing this whole thing out with plants like I usually do. A lot of air bubbles at the moment, but that's okay. I just wanted to get him in. He seems comfortable, seems really comfortable. Now, you know, there's not a lot of food or algae or everything in this tank. It's pretty clean. Obviously the sand is all reused, but everything else pretty new. So for the time being, we're gonna have to put some algae wafers in, some food for the Pleco as well. So I'm gonna get some courgettes or zucchini, as you guys in America call it, some cucumbers, some algae wafers, that sort of thing, and put them in. Wow, look how good he looks. He's probably like really confused. Eventually there will be some tannins released in this water from this bogwood, so it will go slightly darker. He's going to find a little home for himself in a minute, which will be awesome. But yeah, I had to resist packing it out with plants because, you know, I quite often do that, don't I? And that is not the point of this one. We just want a few plants around the wood structure just to see what he does or doesn't eat. So get a close up of those sucker bits. Stay still, please. I don't think he's grown at all since I've had him in the first month, but that's okay. I mean, if he stays this size, it's a perfect home for him. Some have said in captivity they don't really grow very much. Others have said they grow huge. I mean, who cares? It's just whatever. It's cool. Cool to watch. If he gets bigger, I'll get a bigger tank. There we go. He's fine. Whoa, it really is like zooming around at the moment. Find your spot, buddy. Oh, awesome.